We're at the Henry Hotel for the Midwest User Group. This is the Strategic Insights podcast. I'm lucky enough to be joined today by Jesse Rauch of QAD. Hi, Jesse. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to touch on a topic that is fairly new, or at least I should say hot off the presses in what we have available or coming out. We're going to discuss industry-leading support for manufacturers that are supporting the defense industry. So there's a lot of acronyms that have been thrown around that is going to dive into some detail here, but for our on-premise customers and people listening there on legacy systems that have to be on legacy systems due to some of these things, explain to me like ITAR, NIST, CUI, and CMMC. Jesse, what's changing and what's coming down the road for them?
Yeah, we do love our acronyms when we're supporting the Department of Defense. Really what this all comes down to is the IT security requirements and compliance requirements when you are manufacturing for the Department of Defense supply chain, right? So you're making pieces and parts for, critical aspects of our defense industry. And with that, you threw out a couple of terms. The term most people will know is NIST. So that was some of the current technology requirements around your systems to make sure you're keeping your data safe, to make sure you're within compliance for Department of Defense regulations. So that's what a lot of people will know. They'll be familiar with that term. And a lot of that was done by, keeping your software on premise, locking it in a cage in your basement and, making sure nobody had access. But this is the modern world, right? So the Department of Defense has come out with some new categorization called CUI. So that's Controlled Unclassified Information. So you'll see things like ITAR was one of the no foreign access to data was a ITAR requirement. And that's now going to be part of a CUI category. And then the new DoD regulations, they're in final rulemaking right now for what's called the CMMC certification. So it's the Cybersecurity Maturity Model certification. And so with that, they're really codifying those NIST regulations. There's going to be some requirements for third-party audits of your system to make sure that your systems are, ready to use, ready to store this Department of Defense related information. And so with that, the management of CUI, the CMMC, those are they're currently in federal rulemaking, as I said, and so those regulations will start to flow down to the prime contractors, right, to the Lockheed Martins and the Boeings of the world, and from there they'll flow down contractually to all of the manufacturers. So of course our big target is these tier 1, tier 2 manufacturers that need to support these requirements. And it's a whole, levels of compliance. It starts from CMMC level 1, all the way through CMMC level 3. So kind of 3 levels of how important the information is, how careful you need to be with it. And so what we found is there's a lot of manufacturers out there rather running either old versions of QAD or running, spreadsheets and things like that. And they need to make sure that they are ready for the new requirements coming down, meet the existing requirements, ready for the new requirements. And so with that, QAD has come out with an offering to make sure that we can help our customers meet those requirements today and moving forward. And so Strategic Information Group is our initial go-to partner for the CMMC level 2 and level 3 requirements. So some great technical expertise and the ability to manage those levels of information with the QAD ERP platform. And then CMMC level 1, that's the easy stuff. Those are the kind of tier 3, tier 4 vendors, or only a small percentage of your work is in the Department of Defense. Those will typically be in our standard QAD commercial cloud. So we're making sure that we're meeting those CMMC levels 1 standards with our general purpose cloud. So it's a lot of acronyms in there.
It is, but it's an exciting time because you're painting a picture of a path for people to be able to take advantage of the latest and greatest offerings in the product set versus, like you said, staying on a system they walled into a room with an air conditioner in it and haven't touched it in a decade.
Exactly. And so much of this is about just modern technology, right? Being able to have a friendly, HTML user interface, being able to have, all the latest, greatest reports and analysis, and we have a bunch of new artificial intelligence capabilities, process analysis, really getting the most you can out of an ERP system in a very straightforward, easy manner. But what that means is you really want to have a managed cloud environment. You don't want to have to take care of all of the pieces and parts. A lot of these technologies are, frankly, they're based on open source technologies, right? MariaDB and the different AI platforms. But it's the management of them that gets complicated, right? It's not something you want to have to build in-house. But that's what QAD does, right? We're a software development company. We take all of the best ERP practices, we tie it into all the modern environments, and then with a partner like Strategic that can now operate that environment in a secure context, means we now have a roadmap for small, medium, large manufacturers to get the best ERP system they can with minimal effort, right? And be able to check those compliance boxes and know they have a path forward to cool technology for the next 20 years.
And it's going to be fun because right now I'm hoping that a number of people will be listening to this in a couple weeks from now and realizing that there is a path forward for them. And we're going to start, fielding those calls and figuring out, are they going to be a level 1 compliance? Are they going to be level 2 compliance? To see where these, legacy comps end up. But it's a great information that we've had at the Midwest User Group. Jesse, I thank you for coming out today.
Absolutely.
And helping to educate us on what all these lovely acronyms are going to mean for our defense customers moving forward.
Excellent. Thanks for the time. It's always a pleasure.